Caught between two worlds. A love story with a dangerous twist. Maplewood had always been a quiet town, nestled between rolling hills and serene lakes. Its peace was its charm, attracting those looking for a life away from the chaos of the city. Among its many residents was Elena Thompson, a woman in her mid-30s with striking auburn hair and an air of grace that turned heads wherever she went. Elena was married to Jacob, a respected lawyer in town. Their life seemed perfect, the kind people envied. But appearances, as always, could be deceiving. Elena and Jacob's marriage, though outwardly solid, had lost its spark. Jacob was devoted to his work, often bringing cases home and spending long nights in his study. Elena, an artist at heart, felt the emptiness grow in their relationship. Her days were spent painting and teaching art at the local community center, where she could lose herself in colors and strokes, but even art couldn't fill the void in her heart. One rainy afternoon, Elena's world shifted. The community center's doors swung open, and in walked Daniel Reed, a journalist temporarily stationed in Maplewood. His dark eyes and confident demeanor made him stand out immediately. He was there to write a feature on the center's art programs, but his curiosity quickly extended to Elena's work. They talked briefly about her paintings, his travels, and the rain outside. The conversation felt effortless, like they had known each other forever. Days turned into weeks, and Daniel found more reasons to visit the center. At first, their conversations were casual, focused on art and local stories. But soon, they delved deeper, sharing thoughts about life, dreams, and regrets. Daniel's adventurous spirit fascinated Elena, while her sensitivity and creativity intrigued him. One evening, after a particularly long conversation about a painting Elena was working on, Daniel said, "You paint emotions people can't put into words. It's incredible." His compliment lingered in her mind long after he left. Elena knew she was crossing a line, but she couldn't stop herself. Daniel was everything Jacob wasn't: spontaneous, attentive, and full of life. Yet, guilt gnawed at her. Jacob wasn't a bad man. He simply didn't see the cracks forming in their marriage. One crisp autumn evening, Daniel invited Elena to a nearby lake. "I found this amazing spot for sunsets," he said. Reluctantly, she agreed. As the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in fiery hues, they sat in silence, the tension between them palpable. "Elena," Daniel finally broke the silence, "I can't stop thinking about you." Her heart raced. She wanted to deny her feelings, but the truth spilled out instead. "I feel the same. But I'm married." "I know," he said softly. "But sometimes, the heart wants what it wants." They left that evening with an unspoken understanding. Nothing had happened yet, but the boundaries of their relationship had shifted. Elena's secret meetings with Daniel became more frequent. They were careful, meeting in secluded places, speaking in whispers. But Maplewood was a small town, and secrets didn't stay hidden for long. One evening, as Elena returned home from a meeting with Daniel, Jacob was waiting for her. His expression was unreadable, but his eyes were sharper than usual. "Where were you?" he asked. "At the studio," she lied, her voice trembling. Jacob nodded but didn't say anything further. The next morning, she noticed he had left for work earlier than usual. A pit of unease settled in her stomach. Meanwhile, Daniel's curiosity about Jacob led him to dig deeper. What he found shocked him. Jacob was not just a lawyer but someone with connections to powerful and dangerous people. Suddenly, their affair felt less like a stolen romance and more like a dangerous game. One evening, while Elena and Daniel were at their usual meeting spot by the lake, Jacob appeared out of nowhere. His presence was like a thunderclap, silencing everything around them. "So this is what you've been doing," Jacob said, his voice cold and steady. Elena froze, her heart pounding in her chest. Daniel stepped forward, trying to explain, but Jacob cut him off. "Do you have any idea who you're dealing with?" he said to Daniel. Jacob's words weren't just a warning, they were a threat. He left without another word, leaving Elena and Daniel reeling. Jacob's silence at home was worse than any confrontation. He didn't mention what he'd seen, but his demeanor changed. He became more distant yet strangely protective, as if shielding Elena from something she didn't understand. Daniel, on the other hand, urged Elena to leave Maplewood with him. "We can start over somewhere new," he pleaded. But Elena couldn't. Her loyalty to Jacob, despite everything, held her back. "I can't leave," she said tearfully. "I've made a mess of everything, but running away won't fix it." Days turned into weeks, and the tension grew unbearable. One evening, Jacob finally broke his silence. "I know you're in love with him," he said. "But I also know you're still here." "Why?" Elena couldn't hold back her tears. "Because I love you too," she confessed. "I made a mistake, but I don't want to lose everything we've built." Jacob sighed, the weight of their fractured marriage evident in his eyes. "If you want to stay, we need to start over. No more lies. No more secrets." Elena nodded, knowing it wouldn't be easy but willing to try. As for Daniel, he left Maplewood soon after, understanding that some battles weren't meant to be fought. Elena and Jacob began the slow process of rebuilding their marriage. The road was fraught with challenges, but their shared determination kept them going. The memory of Daniel remained a bittersweet chapter in Elena's life, a reminder of the choices that define us and the worlds we sometimes find ourselves caught between.